Hey G-Fans, gojifan93 here, and welcome back to my Godzilla-thon 2014. Today we will be taking a look at Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. Alright, so this movie actually came out the same year as Mothra vs. Godzilla, 1964. And it actually has the same Godzilla suit, only a little bit modified, but you can definitely tell the similarities between them. This is kind of the film that kind of started Godzilla like going all sci-fi-ish, because this it basically deals with like Martians and Ghidorah, which is a space monster. So it's really interesting how it goes from like more of a horror element to all of a sudden like more sci-fi. Alright, so basically the story goes as this princess has to go to Japan for some kind of political affair or something like that, and the problem is that inside of her own country that there are these people that want to kill her, so they send an assassination or they send a hitman after her, and basically our main heroes get kind of entangled into this whole story, but what happens is that they didn't really explain it well, and maybe I just missed it, but there's this, while this princess is on the plane that's going towards Japan, there's a bomb set in it. So what happens is that this mysterious voice all of a sudden like contacts the princess and kind of like not really brainwashes her, but just kind of changes, like, I don't know, it's weird how it happens. She just changes into a different person because she believes that she's a Martian after that. So what she does is that she just jumps out of the plane. I don't know how she survived the fall. And the plane explodes, and then basically what she turns into is she doesn't know who, like, she's not her older self. Now she thinks that she's this Martian, and she comes down to Earth to tell everybody, oh my god, there's a terrible thing that's gonna happen, we're all gonna die. Basically she's talking about King Ghidorah coming down and wrecking shit. Or Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. I think in the Japanese version they called him King Ghidorah, but I think in the English version they just called him Ghidorah. So I don't really know the differences. But so yeah, and then obviously Godzilla's back. He pops up out of nowhere, starts terrorizing shit. Rodan all of a sudden appears, and what's cool is that they already know who Rodan is, because Rodan had his film. I don't remember exactly which year. I think it was 1956 maybe. I'm probably wrong on that, but so they remember him. And then what's really funny is that the Mothra twins are actually kind of like celebrities now, because everyone knows the Mothra twins from the last movie, which is cool. They kept some continuity between these early films. I really like that. So basically what they do is they try and ask the twins to help save Japan, obviously, from Godzilla and Rodan, and then eventually with King Ghidorah. But then what they realize is that, once the adult Mothra's dead, and then they were just left with the two ones. But then they explained that one of the Mothra larvae died off, so now there's just one Mothra larva. So they're like, oh, that's not good. So basically, like, the first half of the movie is a lot of story development, a lot of character development. It's very it's kind of long. It can get a little boring at some parts, but then when you get to the third act or whatever, Godzilla starts fighting Rodan. It's really awesome. They have a fun battle, and what I love about this movie is that they give it some comedic elements when the monsters are fighting, because Godzilla and Rodan, they all have they have facial characteristics. Like they seem to have put a lot of detail into the faces, like with the eyes moving, like the animatronics that went into it, because when Godzilla's fighting Rodan, they just have so many parts that are funny. Like Godzilla, like when Rodan's like attacking Godzilla's head with his beak, Godzilla is stunned for a second. He just goes, he's like that. It's hilarious. But then what's really funny is that Mothra ends up when King Ghidorah eventually comes out, because King Ghidorah started by this comet just hitting Earth, and then King Ghidorah eventually came out and now started terrorizing Japan. So what Mothra larva does, she goes up and she actually tries to communicate with Godzilla and Rodan, and this whole part right here is my favorite part of the movie. because the twins are basically narrating what is going on between the conversation between Mothra and Godzilla and Rodan, and it's just hilarious how like Mothra's trying to convince these two, and how she separates them to get their attention is that she sprays web on Godzilla first, and Godzilla's like, oh, like this, and Rodan starts laughing. It's hilarious. And then what happens is that all of a sudden Mothra turns to Rodan, starts spraying him with web, and then it's I just love the way Rodan just when the web is being sprayed on him, he's like bleh, and then Godzilla laughs. He does like he like laughs, and then he sits down because he's like satisfied, and then you just see Rodan's face. He's just like so yeah, and then Mothra finally like gets their attention. She starts talking to them like, hey, we gotta team up, we gotta take out King Ghidorah. And you know, Godzilla and Rodan are like, well, no, the humans never helped us. The humans hate us. Why should we protect humanity and stuff like that? And then Mothra's like, all right, fine. So then she just ends up going to fight King Ghidorah by herself. Obviously, that doesn't go well. She gets her ass kicked. And then Godzilla pops up, and Godzilla and Rodan eventually help her, which is awesome. So then, you know, we just got this classic battle between, you know, a 3 versus 1, and it's a little bit unfair, but considering that Mothra larva doesn't really do a lot, and Rodan, he just kind of flies around and just does a lot of like dive bomb attacks and whatever. Godzilla was the main enemy, right, for King Ghidorah in this battle. So it's just a lot of rock throwing and just a lot of tackling and all that stuff. But eventually what happens is that they all clump up into one big ball and then just fall off the cliff, I think. Or I think oh no, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Invasion of the Astro Monster. I'm thinking a little bit ahead, my bad. It's actually where Godzilla just like throws King Ghidorah off the cliff or something. I think that's what happened. Yeah. Ooh, sorry. But anyways, it ends with at least one monster falling off a cliff. So yeah. So, but you know, it's a really enjoyable movie. It's a little boring at the beginning, but obviously you got a good score. Akira Ifukube's still there. You know, you got the classic themes going on. The special effects are pretty good. They're obviously kind of the same as Mothra vs. Godzilla because it's done in the same year. But all in all, it's a really enjoyable movie. So definitely one of the classics, and I would love to see this movie get remade. I mean, can you just imagine what this movie would be like if if it was redone with Legendary's Godzilla? I mean, if it had Legendary Godzilla with a new Rodan, a new Mothra, and a King Ghidorah, I mean, that would just be awesome. I would love to see that. So but yeah, overall, really good movie. That's basically all I got for it. So thank you guys so much for watching this one, and next up will be Invasion of the Astro Monster, and I'll see you guys till then. Stay big, G fans.